Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show.
Look at this. Do you see this, Fickle?
Oh, wow.
It's a copy of the 2023 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
Look
Did
at
I
that.
tell you I already found a typo?
Yeah.
Did I tell you I got an email about a mistake?
Yeah.
I need to take it up with, you know who I need to take it up with? Maybe I haven't told you this one. In fact, I need to double check this right now. I got an email about it it was a very nice email. It was somebody saying, hey, can you clarify this for me? And I believe what happened is we just transposed something, but I want to make sure I get this right. He said it was a specific district because he was an alum of this place. Yeah, so that's exactly it. So in 2A, we have, yep, that's exactly right. That's exactly what happened. In 2A, I'll just give this away. The 15th ranked team in 2A Division 1 is the Garrison Bulldogs.
Okay.
With the Garrison Bulldogs. We're big believers in the Garrison Bulldogs. 7-4 last year, but they bring back 19 starters. We're believers in them. But if you were to look at, and they're in the same district as Timpson.
Mm-hmm.
Timpson we have ranked higher than Garrison, I can tell you that much. But we actually have Garrison third in district behind Joaquin, who is unranked.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
All that happened. Yeah, that doesn't happen. That doesn't work. Like, to be clear, like, there are times where we think, like, oh, styles make fights, and, like, this team may beat them head-to-head and stuff like that, but we think this team is better. This is not one of those instances. This is just us in District 11, 2A Division 1, transposing and just saying, like, Garrison should have been second and Joaquin should have been third in that district. But, yeah, I got an email about that. Those are the types of things that, like...
That's a good catch.
It is a good... Well, that's what's so funny about this magazine is that it is a collection of little magazines for everybody.
Yeah, because I'm going to be honest, I don't know if unless I was specifically looking into one of those teams, I would have went, that's a little different. But had it been Llano and I was like reading the passage for or the thing for Llano, then it's like, wait a minute.
It's the most important thing for Llano. It's the most important thing for Joaquin.
Yeah.
Right? That's the thing, is that's why there's such pressure on us to get everything out. So, for example, I got another email from somebody, and I don't know how this happened, but if you go to the state champions page, for some reason, we do not list that Sweetwater won the 1985 2A, 3A state championship, whatever.
You should be fired.
We don't list it. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that happened. And also, that page got read at least 5 times, and nobody caught it. Because, how would we? That is one of those things that once you put it on the page, it's never going to get caught.
No.
The best way to avoid making a mistake in the magazine is to never put it in the magazine.
Yep.
But that's one. But the people in Sweetwater are like, awesome. I'm going to flip back to page 397 and go make sure I bask in the glow of the now.
Which is cool. If my team had won a state championship, I would have gone back and looked at it every single year.
Right? That's what happens. So that's how most of those happen. I don't know how that one snuck by. But then as sure as the day is long, Pickle, I told you I don't like opening this magazine because it's the first moment that I open the magazine, I'm going to find an error. And guess what? I did. Found a typo. And it's just again, it's one of those things that you, valued listener, will probably never notice because the magazine is too big and there's too many words in it. But there is a certain segment of the population that will notice it, and I will hear about it, and I will keep a mental tally, and that will weigh on my brain forever. And that is that's eventually I'll just have an aneurysm, and that'll be the cause. It'll be the cause because there's going to be...
That's morbid.
It's true. That's what's going to happen. The last thing that goes through my brain is going to be... Your
children.
No. I think about them enough. I'm gonna think about, dang it, we transposed Joaquin and Garrison in District 11 to a Division 1. I do. It used to bother me a lot more than it does now. I used to take it super personally and really beat myself up about it. And now... I just don't, and I'm just we try very hard, and I do think there's a certain
when you give something your all for
that's the thing.
3 months, you cannot beat yourself up about it when it doesn't, because I have to do the same thing. You plan and plan and plan and plan, and then one lower third messes up, and it's that used to be the end of the world. Now it's I made 75 lower thirds. It just happens sometimes.
It just happens, and you have to learn to give yourself a little bit of grace. That doesn't mean that we don't hold ourselves to a high standard, but you just have to learn to give yourself
If
grace.
we didn't give it our all leading up to it, then you have every right to feel bad.
Yes.
But if you truly
give
give it your if you look back and think, "Oh, I took that whole week off from doing anything when I could have done that,"
Can you imagine taking a week off during magazine season?
No. I can't imagine taking a week off during any season.
Hit that theme, Expo. Pickle! Hit the arrow sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today, a show online. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places, or you're listening to the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting here, sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. Yes.
Just keep going. You'll hear in a minute.
Wearing a blue shirt. She's the Duchess of the Dorks, Miss 305. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi, friends.
Hi.
Welcome in.
Do you want to share with the class what you're laughing about?
Yeah, to the person that's trying to get me to say a funny thing during first four through the door, I caught you. I'm not saying it. I'll tell you later.
Okay. You'll tell me off the air?
It was supposed to be one of those where it sounds like an actual name, and it's not.
It's a Bart Simpson.
But I'm in on
It's
it.
a Bart
I'm
Simpson
locked
calling
in
Moe.
today. Mm-hmm.
The Bart Simpson calling Moe type thing.
Yep.
I get that. The Simpsons explains everything. Today is Thursday, July 6th, 2023. 140 days until Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to Kevin Hart.
Oh, nice.
Today's the birthday of Kevin Hart.
I like Kevin Hart.
And I have a mean question. This is not. Today's also the birthday of 50 Cent.
Oh, nice. 50
Cent's still doing okay, right?
Yeah, he's fine.
Did he have health issues a minute ago?
I don't think so.
Okay. Who was I thinking of? There's another rapper who had health issues, who was like from that same time frame. He was Busta Rhymes.
That sounds right.
Maybe. Anyway, I hope all the rappers of the early 2000s are doing great. It's episode 1613. On today's show, folks, we're going to talk about some Texas high school football programs that are under some pressure to put together a winning season in 2023. And not just a winning season, but a big season. We'll talk about that. And then back half the show, Greg Powers caught up with Willis quarterback DJ Lagway, the Florida commit, and as well as heading to the Elite 11. We will hear from him coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door?
We do. The one that must not be spoken about. Andrew Christensen, Tony Blaylock, and Aaron Arbuckle. Welcome in, fellas, lady fellas, trolls.
So
It's funny.
Can I tell you something? This is kind of wild. So today is I'm on this birthday list that I go to every day. They always list it's in order of most famous, which is why there's a ton of TikTok people and a lot of YouTube people and stuff like that.
That's exact. I've scrolled down pretty far to get someone that I know,
right.
Kevin Hart. It's not.
He's number one today.
Oh, okay.
But there's a YouTube star before 50 Cent at number 3.
Oh, jeez.
But what's so crazy is today is the birthday of the Mowry twins, Tia and Tamara. Do you remember them? Tia is number 4 and Tamara is number 13.
Oh, jeez.
Boy, and in between them is George W. Bush and Sylvester Stallone and
The
Zion
fact
Williamson.
That Tia is more well-known than
I don't know how that happened.
a president is rather surprising.
Haven't kept up with the Mowry twins.
Yeah, Tia was more popular. I would say the Olsen twins were more in sync with each other.
This is not meant to be sexist or misogynistic, but is she married to someone famous?
Possibly.
It's possible. Oh, she's been in a Netflix series, but I don't know. Anyway, all that's to
Has
say.
she revitalized?
She was married.
Is she in stuff recently?
She
and
was married to
the
a
other
guy
one's
named
not.
Corey Hardrict.
That's
who was
not
in
ringing
Gran
a bell either.
Torino. Anyway, happy birthday to the Mowry twins. All right, Pickle. Let's talk a little bit about high school football, as we want to do on this show every once in a while. Our friends over there at Republic of Football will talk a lot about hot seats, right? They'll talk about how it's a really big year for specific coaches and specific programs to put together winning seasons on the college football level. I would say that Jimbo Fisher, even though he has a fully guaranteed contract, coming off of a rather disappointing 2022 season, probably needs to think about winning in 2023 if he wants to not earn the ire of our friends in maroon. Right? I think that's fair. I think Dave Aranda is under some pressure to win. I think Dana Holgerson is under some pressure to win. Right? We don't talk about that in the high school ranks, and specifically that's because the high school coaches tends to operate differently. I mean, these are teachers, right? These are educators, and so largely, guys' jobs are not on the line if they have a bad season, right? For example, if Mizzou coach Eli Drinkwitz goes 5-7 this year, he's getting fired, right? But if a high school coach goes 4-6 and misses the playoffs, that doesn't mean he's getting fired.
No.
But what it might mean is that he's going to start hearing chirping around town. and that there's going to be
every now and then there's a for sale sign that starts going in the yard.
We're not trying to run anybody out of a job. I want to be clear.
No.
But I do think that natives will get restless. And as a result, these programs, I think, are best. It's in their best interest to go out there and win.
Well, and the other thing, too, and this is a little bit different than it is in college football. It's the same, but specifically in high school, a lot of these programs that start hearing chirping like that have been super successful for a long time.
That's part of it
College
too.
football is a little bit different, and like you think of like the Texas Longhorns were really good, and then they haven't really done that in a long time. But
that's exactly it. The expectations are there.
Yeah.
Right? The expectations.
This has usually been a long winning streak for most of these teams.
So, like, for example, Frisco Emerson, Coach Kendall Miller is under no pressure to win this year. Now, he wants to win. Mm-hmm. We've met Kendall Miller. He wants to win.
The president of the TXHSFB. He likes to win.
But, correct. But they had a great year last year in their first varsity season. And while we expect them to win, if they were to fall short, we'd be like, oh, well, it's a new program. That's what happens to new programs, right? To me, you've got to have that kind of what makes for a pressure-packed season in the high school ranks is past success and recent disappointments. Is that fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
Recent maybe not living up to that standard, or other expectations for a couple of programs from the exterior that maybe you don't have a ton to do with.
Correct.
So, here are 5 Texas high school football programs that I think are under pressure to win in 2023. This is a sliding scale. Some teams just need to make the playoffs. Some teams need to do more. We'll start in San Antonio, and we're going to start at Converse Judson. Mark Soto enters his second year there at Judson.
An alumnus. They
went 5-7. And I would say that if you talk with Coach Soto, there's a lot of he will tell you that there is pressure because he understands the pressure, because he is an alum.
Honestly, I think he probably puts most of that pressure on himself as an alum.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. But this is a Judson program that for years and years and years and years and years was the dominant force in the San Antonio area. The dominant force. But last 3 years, they have won a combined 15 games. They've averaged 15 wins or 5 wins a year the last 3 years. That is not the standard at Judson, and I think Coach would admit that. Now, they're in a tough district, right? They're going to be dealing with Cibolo Steel. They're going to be dealing with New Braunfels, Schertz Clemens, the San Marcos Revenge Tour, whatever that looks like. But I think that the standard for Judson is, and part of it is that they are, let me look at their enrollment. I'm fairly certain that they are definitely going D1. They can go D2, but it would take
There's a lot that has to happen.
Actually, no. We have them going D2. We predict them to go D2.
Do we?
So they went D2 last year. But remember, a lot of this is kind of part and parcel of, I would say that the pressure on Judson is largely based on pressure in the San Antonio area to win Region 4 when it's been dominated by the Austin teams. It's been last year it was an Austin sweep. Westlake won in D1, Vandergrift won in D2. That is, to me, the pressure. They are emblematic.
Well, Steele was really good.
Steele was very good. But they lost to Lake Travis.
Right.
I think the pressure is to get over that Austin area hump. And I think Judson is emblematic of that there in the San Antonio area. So for me, I think there's pressure on Judson that is really kind of pressure on the San Antonio area to find a way through and to win Region 4. Because that's the standard. The standard is to be in a state semifinal for Judson. And I think Coach Soto would tell you that. And then the standard from there is to go win the darn state championship. That's one team that's under pressure. Team number 2 is Childress. Let's talk about the Bobcats. Now, I thought Bo Helm had a nice first year at the helm of the Bobcats. They're at Childress. They went 7-5. But this is a program that has a lot of expectations. Mm-hmm. So much so that you remember that the coach before Coach Helm got fired
after losing one playoff game.
After losing in the first round of the playoffs.
Now,
if you remember,
it was an awful loss.
Jason Sims was reassigned after 7 pretty darn good seasons.
We were shocked.
It was a shocking move. to me, again, Bo Helm, I thought, did a nice job. 7-5 first year. You are in a district with Canadian, which is no fun.
No.
But this is, I think, a program that has told us, they have told the world what the standard is. And the standard is to play deep into the playoffs. Now, again, this is not a suggestion that Bo Helm's going to get run out of town if they don't win 10 games. What I'm saying is that Childress has signaled to us how serious they are about winning. And so I think after a 1-year kind of honeymoon period for Bo Helm, now the pressure from the community is going to ramp up. And now they're going to say, let's contend within 3A Division II Region 1. Let's contend. So I think there's pressure on Childress to win in 2023. My next team that's under pressure to win in 2023. Maybe it's a little off the board, but I have a reason. Let's talk about Nederland. So Nederland, Monty Barrow has been there for quite a while. I believe he's entering his 7th season there and has largely been successful. If you take a look at what he's done, I believe he's got a 39-27 record. They've been pretty good the last few years. If you remember, they had a 10-win season back in 2018, and then a 9-win season, 9-3, back in 2020. Not bad, right? A few disappointing seasons scattered here and there. Last year, though, the Bulldogs went 2-8, missed the playoffs. It was a disappointing year for the Bulldogs. But the reason that they have pressure has nothing to do with them.
It's because they're rival.
And it has everything to do with what the other team in their rivalry game did last year. Because Port Neches Groves ran to the state championship game. And they beat Fort Bend Marshall shockingly, and they won the semifinal, and then they gave South Oak Cliff a heck of a run.
I was going to say.
They came within probably, again, it's hard to say, but like they were with them. They were leading at halftime. They were leading into the third quarter of a state championship game. They were, let's call it 20 minutes away from a state championship.
Against a team that had a roster full of kids that had, or young men that had done that before.
Yes, against defending champs.
That was literally just there.
Against defending champs. And so at Nederland, the bar got raised externally because of what happened across town.
And that's a legitimate thing in Texas high school football.
If your rival's playing for a title and you're going 2-8, the pressure cooker's getting turned up. The pressure cooker is getting fired up because you cannot fall behind. This is the equivalent of like last year was a really bad year for Oklahoma, right? It's a really bad year for Oklahoma. If Texas had gone to the national championship game, it would have made Oklahoma's season even worse, right? That's the standard here. And so at Nederland, I think that the Bulldogs need to put together a big season to prove that they are not falling behind their arch rival.
Oh, and that's why it's a shame that Texas and A&M aren't playing this year with Jimbo kind of being on the hot seat and Sark possibly being on the hot seat like that.
Well, he's always on the hot seat.
Correct. But that would have made it even more interesting.
So, I think Nederland's under pressure. 2 more. We don't talk about this, but let's talk about PSJ North.
I don't know. I don't think I agree with you here. Well, I know where you're going now that I think about it.
We talked all last year about how the realignment had set up a great opportunity for a team from the Rio Grande Valley to make it to a state semifinal. We talked about all year long, and in the end, PSJ North had a great year. They went 13-1, and they lost in the regional final in a close one to Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial, who was an unbelievable team and worthy regional champions, right? I would go so far as to say that if you take a look at what PSJ North has coming back, because I don't know if you guys know this. Maybe we've mentioned it, maybe we haven't. They have 21 starters back. Everyone except, I think, one defensive lineman, I want to say, is back for PSJ North. Couple that with, I think, the Corpus Christi teams, I think Corpus Christi Miller, who PSJA North beat, is going to be a little bit better, but remember they beat him by 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Veterans Memorial may take a step forward. They have they have to replace a quarterback. They're going to be inexperienced up front. I think may take a step back. If you want to install PSJA North as the favorite to win Region 4 in 5A Division 1 and to play in a state semifinal, I think you're well within your rights. And I think that they are going to be the talk of the Valley all year long. That's the team that everyone's going to be talking about. Now, Edinburgh Vale is going to have something to say about it too, and they bring back a fair amount as well. But I think based on what they did last year and the hunger down there in the Valley to have a contender, I think that PSJA North is going to have a spotlight on them every week, and I think with that spotlight comes pressure.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's pressure from I feel like that's even more pressure on the kids sometimes than the coaching staff in this instance, because
I agree.
you don't want to make anybody from town mad. I
agree.
The whole region would be
I think
upset.
they're going to get told all year what a great opportunity they've got.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's all these other ones. We've talked a lot more about the coaches being the ones that had pressure. I feel like PSJ North is going to they need to remember that those kids. Oh, absolutely.
He'll tell you he embraces the pressure.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's pressure on PSJ North because of the expectations there. And speaking of expectations, the other program that's under pressure to win.
This one to me flips back more to the coach.
The Allen Eagles. Matt Stepp brought up something yesterday on Twitter, and I think it's interesting. We were talking about we've sent out some tweet about tell us a Texas high school football moment that gives you goosebumps, right? And people were throwing it. There was a really great thread. Go read if you just want to take a walk down high school football memory lane. One guy said William Cole's 98-yard touchdown run against Garland to push Cedar Hill to the win over Garland to eventually take them to their first state championship. And Stepp brought up the point. He goes, that was really such a passing of the torch moment because Garland had been such a DFW power under Jeff Jordan, and then at that point, it was clear that the tide had shifted and Cedar Hill had become the new program in DFW at that moment. They had kind of superseded and kind of vaulted them. And the closest parallel we have to that, I think, is 2018 with the Duncanville semifinal win over Allen. Allen, since then, has not made a state semifinal. They, last year, in the first year under Coach Lee Wigginton, they fell to, what was the final record? Let me see.
12.
7-4.
7. Oh, God.
Went 7-4 last year.
Yeah.
It was a disappointing year. They got bounced in the first round of the playoffs, right? They lost to Louisville in the first round of the playoffs. In fact, they got routed by Louisville in the first round of the playoffs, right? It is not long ago that Allen was the big, bad wolf. Not just in DFW, but in the state of Texas. Part of it was one dude, but they were a talent factory, and remember, they won a title in 2017 too. I think this is a really important year. You mentioned Lee Wigginton. I think he's a great coach. I think he's one of the best coaches out there. I think this is an important year for the program at Allen to establish itself as still on that short list of contenders in the DFW Metroplex. Because past couple of years, they just haven't been, right? They just plain simple. They haven't been. And by the way, they went 11-3, and the years have not been bad by any measure, but by Allen standards of contending for and playing for a state championship, it's clear that, in my opinion, they've fallen back to the pack.
On top of the fact that the thing that really hurts there is when you start losing the consecutive streaks of stuff. You lose the district winning streak. You lose the streak of never losing at Eagle Stadium. Mm-hmm. When you start hearing those milestones start to fall, that's when it starts to really sink in.
It's been 5 years since the last great Allen year, which was in 2018 when they lost in the semifinals to Duncanville. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's been 5 years. We talk about how big they are, 7,000 students. But let's also not forget that having that big of school is not a guarantee of success. Mm-hmm. And I think that for Allen, this is a really important year to prove that they are more than just one of the bunch of good teams in DFW, that they are still an alpha within DFW. So I think this is a big year for the Allen Eagles. Those are 5 high school football programs I think are under pressure to win in 2023. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. If you want this magazine, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. We'll mail it to you. Now, a word from these goods and services.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Pickle, while we were down at State 7-on-7, Greg Powers, our friend, caught up with one of the hottest prospects in the nation, Willis quarterback DJ Lagway, who is committed to Florida. He talked a little bit about his recruiting, his offseason, as well as his involvement in the Elite 11. Mm-hmm. Here is Greg Powers' conversation with Willis quarterback DJ Lagway here on Texas Football Today.
Greg Powers out here with DJ Lagway, Willis Star quarterback, #1 rated quarterback in the state of Texas. Man, what's it like to hear that?
And it's a blessing as a kid, working hard my whole life to get that. It's a lot of more work.
Since we did an interview out here with you last year, man, things have just went nuclear for you. I don't even know how many offers you ended up getting before you made your commitment to Florida. But before I dive into the Gators, I just want to talk to you about a cool experience that you got to have personally, and that's to go out to the Elite 11 camp. You know, I think whenever you're a young quarterback, that's like something you want to check, or you circle it on your wish list. What was it truly like to get out there and not only be around some of the peers, right, in your class, but some of the guys who have already made it?
Man, it was a real blessing, just to be in front of all those amazing people and just really learn from those amazing coaches. And I'm just really thankful and blessed to have that opportunity.
How do you feel like you've been improving upon your game as you enter into your senior year? I watch you throw out here for your whole game. I watch this whole game. And one thing that I noticed that I really feel like that you improved upon is your footwork in the pocket. Much steadier, much more consistent. And that may be just a small thing that I noticed, but what do you think?
Just what you said. I've been working on my footwork in the pocket. It's really just being consistent. That's my biggest thing. Like, even in the game, just being consistent, just continue to put points on the board and just continue to score.
Talk about this Willis squad, man. There's a lot of talent.
Yes, so we got a lot of good players. Like the Jermaine Bishop, about 26. We got the Brian Hampton, 25. We got Mario Holmes, a couple of offenses, about 26. So we got a lot of big-time players. I'm just really excited to go out here with these guys for the last time.
One cool thing looking out there at your roster is you seem to have a receiver of every type. You got the quick little slot wide receiver. You got a guy big on the outside. You got, some guys in the middle of that. Have you guys really started to form a bond, and you think that you can take advantage of that, maybe parlay it into, district championship run at the state title?
Oh, yes, sir. Most definitely. I feel like we got all the pieces to make a deep run. We just got to come together as a team and just continue to build that bond.
You made your commitment to Florida. Some of us that have been following it, maybe a little bit of a shock, but what was it about the Gators? Like, why is there so much positive momentum around that program right now?
I'd say just Coach Napier, man. Coach Napier's a real good dude. He's really building something special. And I'm just blessed and fortunate to be a part of it.
It seems like you're active on the recruiting trail. Know the recruits, and I think that's a quarterback thing, right? Like, you want to help build a strong class. I'm not going to be as familiar with some of the out-of-state recruits like that about, but who are you working on maybe in the Lone Star State? Are there any guys still left on the Florida board that you like are trying to make sure, get them on the campus for an official visit and see if you can't get them to join you down there in Gainesville?
I'd say Dalen Evans. You know, for sure, he's a real good player out of East Texas. You know, so and then also Terry Bussey and Colin Simmons. Those guys right there, we're working really hard on them, try to get them out for some visits and some games. But I think it's gonna be pretty challenging, but we can make it work.
Are you a big college football fan? Do you like to watch it like in your off time?
Oh yes, sir. Just like my bad. Just like being a recruit, you know, just going to the games. You know, we've been to all the big games, so like kind of am like college football fantasy. So it's been fun watching these big games. I'm just excited.
As a college football fan, what do you think about the new SEC, the new Big Ten, like all the changes that are happening around it? Do you think it's pretty cool to be like a part of that power conference?
Oh yes, sir. Most definitely. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be competition every week, and I'm just really excited to get there, just compete, and just have a good time, play on big time stages, stadiums, and just have a good time.
College football fans, this is a guy that you have to know. If you're a Florida Gators fan, it takes about 2 seconds to see him throw, and then it takes about 2 seconds to hear him talk and speak and know why you should be excited. So this guy's coming to Gainesville, will be the future of your program, but before that, he's going to take his school on a run to the state championship, possibly here in Texas. Good luck with your senior season, man, and of course, good luck as you start your college career in Florida.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Go Gators.
There is DJ Lagway, 4-star quarterback committed to Florida from Willis. Talking with Greg Powers. They're at the 7-on-7 tournament in College Station. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment, Final Thoughts.
Real fast. It's the first time that we're bringing this up, but next Friday.
It's an announcement.
This is an announcement. It's an announcement about an announcement. How about that?
It's an announcement about an announcement?
Yes, correct. Next Friday at noon, Mallory and I are calling ISO. We're shoving Tepper out of here, and we are hosting WTF at the noon spot on TFT. It is the 1-year anniversary of us doing that last year.
What'd you guys get each other?
I still got a week to figure that out.
Okay, good. I can help you.
Maybe a high five.
I'm an anniversary gift expert.
Oh, there we go. I'm sure I could get Mallory like a bottle of wine, and that'll suffice. We can both drink it. Anyway, so we're going to be hosting WTF. It's a big 1-year celebration, but even more importantly than that, we will have a massive, major, huge DCTF-wide announcement about something we've been working on. So next Friday, noon, on WTF, Mallory and I coming in with a massive, massive announcement. We're going to tease this literally all week, so start getting excited.
Do I know what this is?
Time will tell. Probably not. You don't listen to us.
Is this that thing that we agreed not to discuss on the air?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. We're going to tell people about that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought that would throw us in jail, but okay, cool. I guess you got immunity. If you've talked to the lawyers about it, then...
I was just going to say, guess who doesn't have immunity? You.
Okay, see, that makes me uncomfortable. I guess we'll have to find out together next Friday what this massive Dave Campbell's Texas football announcement
July 14th.
is going to be. July 14th, the last show before coaching school.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why it's the 1-year anniversary.
And then you're going to go down to Houston and see if they sell beer.
Jury's still out on that.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I don't know anybody down there.
We'll find out all these things together next week. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. We will have a show tomorrow. Mallory's going to be in the jump seat, but it'll be me and Malpal tomorrow because Pickle's got important business meetings. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to DJ Lagway of Willis for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please give me Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.
Ew.